You know, it's with great pleasure that I have the chance to write the foreword for this book for Pete Luongo. You know, Pete has put his experience as a CEO, and frankly, as a CEO who's a human being first, down on paper. This book uncovers some very simple, humanistic, but critical dimensions of leadership that for some reason have kind of dropped through the cracks. And we know that through Pete's insight and his review, and frankly challenging some of his own paradigms and models, he's had to arrive at, not always in the most easy manner, these critical truths.
Every day I wake up, I think, how do we get better? We get better because of good people. What are we doing about it?
When you ask them what makes this company special, I promise you the answer is always the same.
And so that every level of management understood, starting with me, that I had 7 direct reports before I retired. My whole goal was to make sure those 7 people had what they needed to be effective at what they did. There's an essayist, John Allen, in the early 1900s. He said it much better than I did. He said, the real tragedy is the tragedy of the man who never once in his life braces himself for that one supreme effort, who never stretches himself beyond his own capacity, and never lives beyond his own reputation. And I'm going to tell you about an organization in Buffalo, New York, faced with some very, very difficult circumstances, made a decision to find a better way. And I would suggest to you this whole issue of winning at all costs has become a societal issue. Even though we use corporate America as a poster child for greed, it's much deeper than that. Its manifestations are, as I said, greed, winning at all costs, self-indulgency, instant gratification, and it has impacted every organization from youth sports all the way up to the top Fortune 50 companies. So the question is, how do you not compromise your core values, both personally and professionally, individually and collectively, is chase the end game? We believe we found a very, very simple solution. Not easy. The simple solution is create a code of conduct, create a set of mores that says, if we do these things right, if we focus on these 5 behaviors, we're going to get results if the results are available.
Since retiring as president and CEO of the Berry Company, Peter Luongo has traveled the world sharing his message, the 10 truths about leadership. It's not just about winning.
It's so logical, it makes so much sense, and when you see it work through the execution of what you do, by going out and recruiting and hiring the right kind of people, giving them the training, and then watching them actually perform, I mean, how can you not help but be convinced or sold that it's a philosophy that works?
In the 9 years before I retired, we had record-setting performance. What's even more important, we were still able to win. We were also able to create an environment where people felt valued, respected, and part of something special. If you're going to be successful and effective as a leader, you better, number one, get grips with yourself and feel good about who you are. Because here's the key. The key is that's the only time then you'll be able to help somebody else feel good about them.
He's an incredible motivator. He's been a tremendous inspiration for me personally and a lot of other people within the organization.
Look, folks, this is so simple. It goes back to that word that's underutilized and never understood. If you can bring love from the home, personal, into the professional relationship, this thing's over. It's solved. So all of a sudden we said, wait a minute, changes the role. Here's truth number 2. Truth number 2 says that motivation is a personal responsibility. Inspiration is a responsibility of others. You see, as leaders, the most important thing is you got to care about your people. They got to know you care.
This book was one of the best leadership books that I've had the chance to review. It's one of the best books that I continue to go back to, that continue to keep me grounded as a leader. And I can ensure will keep you grounded as well.
And if you do that, you create an environment where people feel valued, respected, part of something special, you're going to win. No question in my mind about it.